Welcome back to Dum-Dums and Dragons, where improvisers who've never roleplayed before journey into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am the Grand Wizard Bukaki, your host. Our heroes and Captain Roberts have rounded up her old crew and allied with a ghost ship, but they've discovered their true foe is a psychic whale. Can they successfully ambush the monster? Will they be able to maintain an alliance with pirate ghosts? Will Butthole's trip to the temple help them out at all? Find out next on Dum-Dums and Dragons.
That's why no one's ever been able to defeat it, because generally speaking, no matter where you go, it will find you. And that's partially because it's able to submerge, it's able to reappear, it's got all sorts of tricks up its sleeve. So he basically suggests that as long as you stay visibly off the coast of Crab Isle, it won't be long before the ship finds you.
I guess we shouldn't do laps around the island. We should probably maybe do like a sort of pacing of some kind where we trace a line back and forth, the shortest distance between the island and the drifts. How does that sound to everyone else?
Yeah, as long as we're within sprinting distance of the drifts, that sounds good. And
I
do you
don't
know
want to
what?
get caught on the west side of the island when we got to go all the way over to the drifts, right?
And I'd say, do you know what? If we see any ships traveling around, let's do some straight up pirate shit and be like, we're back, motherfuckers. And then they can tell other people and the rumor will get around.
Yeah.
That we're hearing that these are our waters. The east side of the island is
maybe the whale's a huge
side.
gossip. Yeah.
Yeah, from that famous Forgotten Realms TV show, Gossip Whale.
That's right, Gossip Whale.
I'm going to say over the next few days, you do some basic pirate shit. You raid some ships. You do kind of a sloppy job of it to make sure there's lots of survivors who are going around being like, the Sea Witch is back. She's on the coast, and there's those guys with her.
I'm mainly just creating fog.
Yeah, no, that's cool. This is fucking smart, Alan, because then when we go into the drifts, the whale won't even know because we're in the fog and that's our thing.
Yeah.
And I go around and scrub the symbol of Moonhammer off most of our shit so the ghosts can help us instead of murdering them.
For the record, you could have still murdered those ghosts if you really wanted to.
They seem really nice. And we have
really nice.
no help. We've never met a more pleasant group of new friends.
No. So it takes a few days, but sure enough,
I start selling t-shirts that say whales ain't shit.
on the
I send whole crews off wearing them like they're assigned outfits. Like
we attack them.
We take the
Force
ship.
these shirts on them.
Yeah, and then we send
Say,
them
"Now
back
go."
with no goods. And we're like, tell everybody that the Sea Witch is great and whales ain't shit.
I like to imagine you just packing barrels with like lead and those shirts and
Yeah,
just
the t-
dropping them overboard so that they'll sink down into the water.
Yeah, it's an underwater t-shirt cannon.
T-shirt depth charge.
We look at it, we just see a school of dolphins just going by, but they're all like caught in the shirts, so they're just wearing them. Like they're still fine, but they can't get them off.
Somewhere there's like a secret society of mer people who just start wearing these shirts. Great. So on the fourth day, around the northeast horn of the island, you see where the water starts to part, and out of it, you see the death wind come up, and then out of the water comes leaping this giant fucking ugly ass white whale who ain't shit, as the t-shirts have told us.
Yeah, the crew's all wearing them.
In your heads, even at distance, you can hear the voice that you thought was Kazarad being like, "You foolish mortals, you dare to fuck with me? I'm a motherfucking whale!" Your heads kind of ache with the psychic pulse of this. Seems like an incredibly powerful mind, but one that you're going to fuck up. So,
And then in my head, I think back and I'm like, whales ain't shit. And I'm like, I think we should leave.
alongside the Death Wind, which is now recrewed slightly by a lot of people wearing whales ain't shit shirts who have been captured and tagged, but clearly in a hurry. With that ship, though, come 4 smaller attack boats, all wearing on their sails with the mark of the unseen hand.
And I'm like, whoa, shit. And I grab like some extra lace that didn't get made into outfits. And I fashion 2 really quick earplugs and I just jam them in my ears because I don't know if my dad's here. So I need to not be able to hear anything.
I thought you were going to make a lace surrender flag.
No. But I'm like plugging my ears. Like I'm ready to go down fighting, man. Fuck that shit.
Odysseus shit.
Yeah.
Let's have a fight at sea.
Yeah.
Awesome. So while we're running for the drifts, I'm guiding the shit out of Quinny.
We're going to just position all of this in a north, south, east, west way. Currently, the drifts are to the south of you. The wind is neither with you nor against you, so no advantage, no disadvantage. The Death Wind and the small unseen hand armada are moving faster than your ship. So roll a pilot check.
And I'm going to use guidance.
So that's an 11.
And you add +4 from guidance.
All right,
15.
15. Quinny, what you start to do is turn the ship so that you're catching a bit more wind.
Okay.
Rather than cutting straight down towards the drifts, you're coming at it from an angle.
Okay.
I look over to the captain and I say, Captain, permission to send the musketeers around is appropriate.
The what now?
People with muskets.
Oh.
By definition, musketeers. Can I send the musketeers around?
I don't think people with muskets when they think musketeers. When they hear
Absolutely,
musketeers.
they don't.
Well,
Right with you, Alex.
can I send people around with guns, please?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to send them to the back of the ship so they can snipe any attack boat that gets too close.
Okay.
Otherwise, the cannons are loaded, but they aim sideways, and we're in the lead, so they're not going to help us right now.
The guns you have on board, you've got 3 on port, 3 on starboard, 1 on the bow, and 1 on the stern. So you do
Oh,
have
shit, we do have a back gun.
Yeah,
Okay,
you've got a
so
back gun.
we'll send Slutty Dave probably to man that gun, so we got some... Oh, no, Slutty Dave's the
No.
first mate. Slim Jim?
Yeah.
So Slim Jim's on the cannon, and we send all the guys with muskets that we can spare to the back to just shoot anybody in a boat who gets too close.
Did you ever think when you named him Slutty Dave that he'd be involved this much in the plot of our story?
A cleric can hope. And I'm going to run directly behind where Tyler's aiming us forward. So I'm going to be guiding him, but I'm using myself as an armored human shield between him and any shots that could come from
okay.
behind.
Okay, so Sea Witch, you are 3 turns from the drifts. Currently, the pursuing ships are 2 segments behind you. However, your speed has stabilized for now. So the Deathwind is going to course correct. It's a giant underwater whale, so it's pretty good at that. So it will succeed and keep pace. Plus, however, the skiffs are not sentient, psychic underwater monsters, so they're still in pursuit, but they're now moving at pace with you. So Deathwind is still moving faster, they're at pace.
So they're not closing in, but Deathwind is.
Deathwind is starting to. Yeah. Top of the round with Sea Witch.
So I'm rolling another pilot check?
Yep.
Okay.
The other thing is the way crewing works is even though non-player characters are at various stations, so like the cannons, captain at any time you can call for cannon fire, and whatever NPCs are manning whatever section will fire them. So Quinny, go ahead.
Okay. 8 total plus 2. Plus 2, so a total of 10.
As you see the Deathwind starting to cut directly at you, again, seeing a ship that moves like a missile is very upsetting, and your concentration slips for a fraction of a second, and the ship drifts back into neither good nor bad.
Oh, okay, so we like lose the wind that we had, sort of? Okay.
I step to block his view, and I say, focus forward.
Trying.
Eyes on the road.
Alan, is there any way you can magic up some wind?
No.
I think I can.
You sure can.
What the hell?
I have a bag of wind that I like to use.
Excuse me?
My jaw drops so far it almost dislocates.
Years ago, the legend of the Sea Witch began when a young lady named Bella Roberts managed to sneak into the famed temple of the wind god and make away with its most valued possession, a bag of the 4 winds. She's carried with her every day, even as a slave aboard the Deathwind, waiting for the day when it would come most handy.
Captain, I simultaneously appreciate you, but you buried the goddamn lead so many times. Like, so many surprises.
What can I say? I wait for the opportune moment.
Wait for the opportune moment.
God, I fucking love that parrot.
So, Captain, you open the satchel of winds, you toss it up into the air, and suddenly your sail fills with a gust that like pretty much pulls the ship out of the sea for a moment, and it just blasts you directly to the edge of the drifts.
Whoa.
And sort of reverberating through all of your heads, you just hear, "God damn it, what bag of wind!"
And I just message back with my brain, whales ain't shit.
So you reach the edge of the drifts. What's your attack plan now? So the other ships are closing, but now they're at distance and they're racing to catch up. Are you heading into the drifts? Are you trying to set up a broadside?
We need to meet up with the ghost ship. We need their help, so we need to go to where they are.
Can you please roll me a perception check? Even though you know the ghost ship is in the drifts, it's still the drifts. So this is you seeking out.
It's a natural 1.
The bag of wind ends up in front of the boat and blows us right back out to where we were.
You start searching desperately, but I mean, as someone who believes in things that you can see and you can touch, you're suddenly overcome by doubt and fear that maybe this was all a hallucination. There was no ghost ship. And so, can you please roll me a wisdom save as you start to panic in a way that you as a captain have never panicked before?
17?
You manage to get a grip on yourself. You kind of like look back. You see like crazy mage who flies around with her cape, apparently. You see a guy who magically farts out healing spells. You see a wolf with a scarred face and armor who apparently speaks very well. And you see a tiny halfling. Yeah, I mean, he's not magical, but
Aw.
he's still pretty cool. And you think to yourself that this day has been just strange enough that between a psychic whale, a bag of winds, and all these idiots, that, you know what, there probably is a ghost ship out there. Besides, Boots would never let you down. So you're not sure where to direct the ship, but you feel okay now.
I'll lean over to Quinny and the captain, and I'm like, what if we do like a swoop around the side? So when they come straight in, they think we're in front of them, but they can go past us. And if the dead wind goes first, we could fucking broadside and take out all those goddamn attack boats. And then it's just 2-on-1. I mean, one is a giant goddamn psychic whale, but
So
like,
you want to go in until we're obscured and then just like hard right or left?
yeah, and
Okay.
crank it around so that we can end up beside, so they'll just blaze past and we can take out the support vehicles.
What do you say, Captain?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it. We've got a whole team.
I look at the rest of the crew, and I'm like, we got to keep this quiet, but we got to keep morale up. And I look to the musketeers, and I'm like, poo, hound, poo, hound,
No.
poo, hound, poo, hound, poo, hound, poo, hound. So the chant keeps going as they like load their muskets, and they all load a second musket and set it in front of them so they can
Well,
like cycle
yeah, but
fire.
Put the fucking
and they-
linen in my ears.
They've managed to like work it out so that each step of loading the rifles goes to a poo or a hound.
Yeah.
It's like poo, hound, poo, and it's like, locked in, pistol, ammo.
And then I look over to Slim Jim, and I'm like, dude, you got to keep that chant going because I'm really worried about those back boats. And I jam my earplugs back in.
And he goes, aye, aye, friend.
And I'm like, I can't hear you.
And he's like,
But I give him a thumbs up.
meanwhile, Greenbeard's running around. He's like, getting the troops prepared. He's like, now remember, right now, there's too many fajitas. Let's make it no fajitas.
I
this
was
case,
waiting to drop that line, but that's good.
Fajitas
too.
are the villains.
Yeah.
And then I look over at Slutty Dave, and I just say, one for luck, and I kiss him on the mouth.
I'm going to give Slutty Dave 1 point of inspiration. Within a couple rounds, you still haven't seen the passing dream, but suddenly in your heads, the voice of the whale being like, here I come, and the ship burns through into the drifts. So if I'm not mistaken, you guys have basically positioned yourself to broadside the attack boats or the Deathwind.
The attack boats. We're going to let the Deathwind go in further, and we're just going to wipe out the support vehicles.
Okay, the Deathwind comes past you, but you can tell that it realized its mistake as soon as it came through, so it starts to turn. Again, not being wind-based, it turns quickly. However, the first two attack ships through fall directly into your line of fire. Captain, you want to give the word?
Fire all.
So with a scream of, "Hoo hound!" all cans fire. Someone roll me 3d20, please.
Captain, you roll one. Laura, you roll one. Tyler, you roll one. And I will guide the cannon
Oh,
crews
okay.
with the joys of
Okay.
guidance.
So I was going to say, I've been rolling enough, but that's fair.
10.
12.
16.
I don't know if you'll let me guide all three.
I'll let you give it to 1.
I will add it to the 12, so I'll bump that up to 15.
2 of those will hit. The cannons do 1d20 plus 6.
Laura and Tyler, you rolled the higher numbers, so roll away for damage.
19.
I rolled an 8.
So plus 6, so 14.
Yeah, 12. 14, sorry. That's 14. I am good at math.
So you blow.
I'm keeping the whole thing now.
I know.
You blow a couple holes in the side of one of the skiffs, and you hear them be like, "Oh no! From the side! From the side!" So that brings us to the passing dream, which, much to your shock and delight, Captain, appears from sort of the other side. It looks like they've looped around to create a mirror image, and it's going to open up on the other 2 skiffs. One will hit. It will do 15 points of damage. That brings us to the Deathwind. The Deathwind is turning alongside you. It's got a terrible angle, but it's going to attempt to fire 2 cannons at you. It's going to do that with disadvantage since it's turning and aiming poorly. The first one will miss. The second one will hit. The Sea Witch will take 14 points of damage. For the record, you have 300 HP.
Oh, well.
On the ship. You have a crew complement of 20. However, 2 people died in the blast. That brings us to the skiffs. So the 2 that got fired upon by the Sea Witch are going to fire back. You're thinking you're parallel to the skiffs?
Yeah.
Okay, then they'll open up with their side guns. That's fine. But only one can because the other one would have to shoot through their friend. Which I've done in Assassin's Creed. And, sometimes it works out real well. And neither gun will hit. It seems they're still scattering from all the damage they took.
I just yell, "Eat a dick, Dad!"
Which brings us to the other two skiffs. They were hit by the passing dream. They're going to fire back. One hits. The dream will take 13 damage. Top of the round. Sea Witch, what are you doing? Alan, you're now within range of the two attack skiffs. Musketeers are within range. Captain, what are your orders?
Let's take out the skiffs.
Finish them off.
Yeah, exactly.
Fire at will. Okay, so same people who rolled. Please roll again.
That's a little better.
19.
2.
I rolled a 17.
I can add 3, but we got 2 hits and a 2. I don't think a 5 is going to work.
So both of you roll d20, please.
9 total.
25.
The skiff's on fire. You can see it's pretty heavily damaged. The captain seems to be a mercenary up at the helm, kind of like yelling commands to people, trying to rally them. We're going to lean on Assassin's Creed rules because they're easy here. You can continue to fire or you can attempt to board. You feel as though if you drop the captain, the ship will likely either fall or can be used by you.
Oh, please. Please, I hate my family so much. Request permission to board, Captain.
We only got 18 people, right?
I got a wolf. I got me. Give me 5 guys, and we have a skiff.
We got that other ship to worry about.
Listen, you can deny, Captain. Probably not the time for a discussion. You can say no. All I'm saying is 3 boats is better than 2.
All right, butthole.
So I look at Slim Jim and the Musketeers, and I'm like, Stinky Pete, attack squad with me. Fire 1 volley, then we're down. I am so goddamn happy.
Musketeers! Boohound formation! In the name of the Sea Witch, fire! So they fire 4 musket shots at the other boat. Unfortunately, again, piratey muskets not so good. One of them explodes and blows the hands off one of them, the musketeers.
Why do we use these? Jesus.
I mean, we're not in a gunpowder-friendly age, really.
And I just yell, Agron!
Already there. And as he's like, oh, fuck my hand, she holds up her finger. She's
Welcome
like,
to the club.
I'll make a doctor of you yet.
but 3 of them will hit. 2 pirates on the other ship drop. So now there are 2 remaining pirates and the captain.
Nice, I'm taking the assault squad over the side.
Great.
Let's fuck these
Over the
guys
side.
up.
So you guys leap. We'll cut that as its own initiative. All right, Quinny, what are you doing to control the boat right now?
I'm just trying to keep it where the captain wants it, I guess, close enough so that our away team can board safely.
Can you please roll me a dexterity check to launch grapples?
Okay.
10.
6 and a 4.
You're going to be able to stay steady with this skiff for this turn, but your grapples failed to hold. So as a result, the ships will drift next round because ships don't really stop so much.
Yeah. Well,
Alan.
make that one visit count to that ship.
Butthole, you're going on to the skiff that's
I've
immediately
stormed
close.
it with Stinky
Yeah.
Pete, 4 guys.
And I imagine the second skiff is within 150 feet.
Sure is.
So I'm just going to throw a fireball over right into the middle of that ship and just try to completely take it out.
What do
I
they
say
need?
I'm going to try to do. I do it.
You learned some of the captain's
So
humility.
I got to roll a damage, eh?
Yep.
34 damage.
Oh,
Fire at sea is bad. You, from your perch, just like launch that over. It doesn't sink the skiff, but it does sure as hell blow up most of the people on board, or they jump off the side. I'm going to say the sail's on fire now. It's pretty well out of the fight.
Cool. Fucking love that
Well
spell.
done. That's a
Cool.
baller ass spell.
Captain, was there anything else you wanted to do this round?
Let's cast darkness.
Who'd you like to cast it on? So currently you're within range to do it on the skiff that Butthole just jumped on. There's the flaming one that Alan just blew up, or there's the Deathwind directly behind you.
That one. So I cast darkness on the gunners.
So I'm going to say that those gunners can fire, but it's at wild disadvantage.
Right.
Basically, you reach out your hand, and the 3 gunners look your way, and they're like, oh, the rumors were true, she lives. And then suddenly, just like everything goes black, and they're like, oh, the rumors are
That
true.
would be terrifying.
She's a sea
Holy shit.
they just watched a fireball explode a ship, and now they're all just think they're blind. For them, the whole world just went dark.
Yeah.
One of them's like, it's a living.
That's fine.
Which brings us to the passing dream. You hear Arthas yell, I'm coming for you, you whaley fuck! And all guns open up on the nearest skiff and just shred it. maybe good you didn't shoot it with silver cannonballs. 6 of them. So one of the skiffs is satellite. A couple crew members jump off onto the other one, but it seems to be going down. Which brings us to the skiff you're on, Butthole. Can you please roll personal initiative?
17.
So you are up first. There is a captain at the helm and 2 corsairs who are drawing their blades.
I'm going to trust my 5 guys with me. I'm like, Stinky Pete, take the boys. And Goblin Jr.'s beside me. Like, we just jumped off of a ship onto a flaming ship. And I just land, and I'm going right at this fucking captain. And simultaneously, I summon a spectral hammer, casting it as a level 3. Sick. This is the sickest fight ever. So we're just going for the classic double whammy, which is like Goblin Jr. jumps up and bites his crotch, and then I'm just going to try to hit him in the head from the front while the other hammer hits him in the head from behind. Yeah. I have 21 total. Hammer 11 to hit.
No dice.
Fucking it just goes around and pokes him in the ass, and I'm like, God damn it. But I take my swing, so 9 damage.
That brings us to the pirate captain. He lets go of the helm as this hammer swinging maniac comes at him, and he kind of like flicks 2 blades out of his wrists, Assassin's Creed style.
I just want to say my newest, most exciting thing, because I have Alan's shield now, my AC is 23.
Jesus.
I don't know how she had a +3 shield, but yeah, we'll talk about that later.
I bought it.
Captain manages to hit with one of his 2 attacks.
And I literally say, good for you.
He's going to do you 5 points of damage.
And then I giggle. This is going to go bad for you. I like your boat. It's going to be mine soon.
Doesn't your family already own this tingler?
Can't hear you. Got earplugs.
God damn this game.
You laugh like an insane person.
I'm laughing
you're like
as
this
him
giddy.
right now.
Yeah,
This is.
Okay, great. So
I'm fighting a guy I can't hear on a flaming boat. This is my heaven.
I know.
So neither of the other pirates hit. The gunners just fucking shred those 2 guys. So it's just you dueling a captain.
I look back and I'm like, guys, pirate rules. You can help.
Which brings us to the skiff that's on fire. The captain from that one who's trying to stop his boat from going down is going to leap onto the one that you're fighting on and take a swing at you while your boys reload. Well, he hits with 1, and he's so proud of himself. He'll do you 5. But when he swings back again the second time, you're wise to it, so you just catch his sword and crack it. Because he rolled a 1.
I say, take that, doink.
Herbert Doink was indeed embarrassed.
I recognized it from my childhood.
Top of the round, the Sea Witch. You start to drift away from the ship that Butthole's engaged on.
I mean, I think he's got it. So
I look up and I'm like, go, you're fine.
Deathwind is curving around behind you, cloaked in an orb of darkness.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's engage.
All right. So I think I'll try and bring it about so that we have as many guns as possible facing this thing.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
That one. So we'll go for lucky. 20. Fucking love this die, guys. Oh, critical.
Wow. All right.
That happens so much more often than I think it has any right to. I go from 1 to 20 like almost every episode.
You realized your mistake with the grapples last time, and so this time, rather than waiting until you're near enough to like grab them, you start launching grapples as you turn and basically use it to slingshot yourself around.
Oh, cool.
I'm gonna let you just fucking 20 spin the boat and basically launch 2 volleys
As we circle around
as you circle around them.
So you fire one side and then on the spin, hit it with the second.
with the fucking
You
harpoon
rolled
on.
a 20, so
Amazing.
you know.
This is a Neverwinter drift.
Yeah.
Amazing. Family. So, Butthole, you're not on the boat anymore, so you won't be able to assist.
No, I'm skiffing it up.
All of you roll me 1, please.
18 total.
13 total.
10 total.
So, the one cannon hit. Now that you're at closer range and you're not firing blind at distance, you're able to make more effective shots and deal more effective damage. So, if you could please roll me 3d10 and then add 6.
18 total.
18 total. Great. The Deathwind sort of shudders under the blow. Since you're at such close range, when you're like hitting this thing, you're just blasting chunks off the deck. And as you do, you start to see just occasional glimpses of white. You can kind of tell the whale's down there and that you're starting to wear the ship down. The ship comes spinning around because of your magical fucking 20. So if you'd all like to roll me another one, please.
There, that's a little better. Nat 20.
Nat 1.
20 total.
20 total. Okay, so Alex, you could roll your damage, please.
15 total.
Tyler, you're going to get to do double damage, so if you could roll me 6d10, please.
39.
Holy shit.
A sound hit. Again, since it's the NPC crew, that's Slim Jim, and he's like, "This one's for you, Captain," and he overloads the cannon. And then Dr. Strangelove style, he just like hops up on top of it to aim it, lights it, and he's like, "Die, you whaley motherfucker!" And as the blast goes, due to a certain one that was rolled, the cannon bursts out all of its fire, deals massive damage to the ship, but in doing so explodes, killing Slim Jim.
No.
Is there anything we've got one doctor on board? Is there anything we can do?
I mean, if you want to start sewing pieces back together, sure.
God.
Why did he have to straddle the fucking cannon?
It's classic Slim.
That's the only way he knows how to aim. Alan, you still have an action, and Captain, you still have an action. Alan, can you roll me an Arcana check, please?
Yeah. 17.
You can now that you know what to look for, you can definitely feel tremendous amounts of psychic energy coming off this thing. But the hint of an idea starts to cross your mind that perhaps you might be able to reverse the psychic energy. And in the same way that the whale was able to take over and control things, you might be able to send someone into its brain, possibly someone who wants to stab that brain on the psychic field. You just have to tax your abilities pretty strongly.
Send someone?
You might be able to manifest, say, some kind of stabby captain in its brain to
Holy
fight it in its
shit.
brainscape as it continues to try and control its ship. Just something to think about. Something that occurred to you.
So I'm like, Captain, never tried this before. But if you're willing, I want to try to send you into Whale's brain. I know this is really fucking weird.
Hey, he just...
I also love this
it
because
might
it's
be
getting
a-
yelled from one end of the ship to the other. Like it's screamed over the crew.
Just like over explosions
Yeah.
and everything. Captain, I want to send you into the whale's brain.
Well, I have thaumaturgy. Does that mean that I can speak
You guys
to
can
you at a normal
absolutely
volume?
thaumaturgy back and forth. It's just two people with booming psychic voices.
But does that take my cast darkness away?
No.
Okay.
Thaumaturgy is just like, it's so easy to do that you're just like...
You can actually cast it 3 times at the same time and maintain it.
Well, Slim Jim is dead. I'm down for anything. This needs to
Just so you know,
finish.
I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know why it's going to work, but I just feel like it is. So just trust me on this. I don't usually get these feelings this strong.
I trust you with my whole heart.
Alan,
Fuck.
you're wondering where this feeling could come from. It's something you think you read about it in Bo Gentle's book. It seems to dance across your mind that it might have the incantation you need.
It's within me.
And the book, but
Or
yeah.
the book.
Again, you formed an odd bond with this book. You don't quite
Yeah.
understand its knowledge yet, but you think you could maybe pull this off if you roll well. Better than you did for Slim Jim.
I whip the book out. I hold it to my chest. I'm rolling a d20, I'm guessing.
Yes, you are.
Am I adding anything?
Can you please add your intelligence?
Save value?
Save value's fine, yep.
18.
Captain, suddenly your vision starts to blur a bit. You can kind of feel yourself being pulled in 2 different directions. It's kind of trippy, but as you do so, just very briefly, you can kind of glimpse a creature and it starts to kind of manifest. It looks like Hazarad, you know it isn't, but that's the form that you most identify the Deathwind with, or Moby Death as he's known to his friends. So
His friends.
that's the form that you think you can put some stabbing in. You sort of see it, and then reality cuts back in. You can see Alan concentrating, but your sword hand starts to get a little twitchy. She keeps at it. This might work.
I'm putting my faith in Alan, and I'm ready for what happens next.
Which brings us to the Passing Dream, which is going to open fire on the closest skiff, and it will hit with 2. So it'll do a fairly sizable amount of damage to the second skiff.
How much is sizable?
20 points of damage.
Nice.
Yeah, that's all right.
Which brings us to the Deathwind. It's a bunch of darkness, and people just shot the hell out of it. So they're going to fire at extreme disadvantage. They'll hit with 1. It's a lucky shot, so it won't do as much damage. Take 14 points of damage.
Any crew go down or no?
No. Okay.
Agron's busy with somebody's scooping up body parts, and then there's a guy with no fucking hands she's dealing with.
Yeah, I think she just gave up on the guy with hands and was like, we'll deal with it later. And just like took a hot iron and was like, Jesus. Listen, I'm so sorry. I normally deal with corpses.
Yeah, she's not a doctor. She's our doctor.
She just starts to perform an autopsy.
I know what I'm doing. She starts scooping up Slim Jim into a bucket. And she's like, I think an explosion killed him.
Listen, I'm just going to tell you, it makes my job so much harder when you keep moving. Ryan, back to your fight. You've got initiative. Guy in front of you is hurt. There's a fresh guy behind you with no sword.
I think I'm going to finish the guy with weapons. That feels like a good choice.
Yep.
The spiritual hammer is going to take a swing at him. 12.
That will not hit.
Of course it won't. Of course it won't. Of course. This is the coolest moment of my life, I yell. And I deserve it. I deserve it. I deserve it. I'm not allowed to use stank now, am I? Of course not. Of course not. Of course. And I'm going to...
His faith in Moonhammer's been shaken.
No. She's teaching me a lesson. I got cocky. 22
Yes, that will
to
hit.
hit by me. Great. And that does 6 damage.
He's still up. A little fucked up, but still standing. The guy behind him gets shot twice, point blank by rifles.
Oh, boy.
It takes 16 points of damage.
I still think he's there because my ears are plugged.
Oh, he's still up. Like he's also a pirate captain, so
good for him.
He's tough, but he has no sword, and he just got shot in the back twice. He does see a hammer right in front of him, so he's going to grab one of your silvered hammers off your belt and just try and whack you in the back of the head with it. So he doesn't hit. He almost does, though. And I mean, man, Moonhammer teaching you lessons, just like you hear like a little dink. It's like, oh man, that's even my hammer. Like you feel it, you don't hear it.
Oh yeah, I gotta feel it. Yeah. Oh, and Goblin Jr. sees the guy hit me with my own hammer, and he fucking growls, and he's ready for the next turn. I rolled a 6, so he's back in the game.
Fuck, God damn it. All right, the skiff that's being blown apart by Passing Dream is going to turn and attempt to ram the ghost ship. It will deal the ghost ship some damage. However, the ghost ship is much bigger and scarier than it is, so it just kind of like sinks into the side of it and then like sort of splinters and cracks, and you can kind of hear like a defiant captain like yelling for the unseen hand, but
You're just ruining a boat.
just ruining a boat.
Yeah.
So Sea Witch, you want to keep the ship level, I assume, Quinny?
Yes.
So can you roll me a piloting check, please? You can also hand the helm off to other people if you want to do other things.
Yeah, I'm thinking about where I would be most useful. For right now, I think I'm good as a pilot. That being said, I rolled 11.
The ship starts to drift around. You're still kind of encircling the Deathwind, but you move around to sort of the back of the ship now. So you're out of the darkness sphere, but still good.
That orc lady is over your shoulder being like, I'm learning a lot about piloting today.
I think
Job
I'm ready to
shadowing
jump.
you.
Should never take your prisoner to work day. Alan, you want to roll to create a psychic battlefield?
Yes, absolutely. A natural 20.
Excellent.
This time, Captain, your vision doesn't blur. This time, suddenly, what's the most important place in the world, do you think, to Captain Roberts?
My ship.
This ship or the one that got destroyed?
The one that got destroyed.
So suddenly you're back. It's like the most perfect day for dueling you've ever seen. So like light rain, doves flying out from behind you. Across the ship, kind of looking elsewhere, you see the manifestation of Deathwind itself in the form of the Beholder.
I'm going to fight it.
Do
All
it.
right.
Do it up.
Go for it.
I draw my sword and I walk towards it.
Want to say anything as you go?
I don't think that that's my style.
Roll your attacks, my friend.
Cold as fucking ice.
I'm going to give you advantage because you literally just invaded something's mind. It doesn't know you're there yet.
19. 8.
So the 19 goes through, so roll your damage.
12 total.
The creature cries out in pain, and it's a horrible like psychic pain. But you know what? You've never really had tolerance for people who scream in psychic pain. So you bring your sword back and you go again. So roll your second attack, and same deal with advantage.
18.
18 will go through.
11.
Would you like to spend any swashing points?
Disarm.
Yep. Once you do it, you start to see the Beholder's shape kind of like shifts and forms. You can tell that this is a manifestation of your own mind and its mind, and your two kind of ideas of each other are clashing. But what you've always felt most comfortable fighting aren't ethereal monsters or any bullshit. You've always just fought things with sword in hand. So you kind of reach out with your mind, force that image into kind of a glowing humanoid shape with a sword, and you just like knock the sword away.
Theoretical rewrite on what that creature looks like. It's me dressed as Captain Bumbershoot.
We're going to do that right now.
You are living Quinny's dream right now.
So
Treasure
you strike the beholder because that's how you always imagined the captain of the ship. But then your mind starts a war with its own vision of itself, and you see this kind of horrible manifestation that you can't even, like, we're talking like Cthulhu-esque crazy bullshit that you can't handle. So you use the strength of your mind to force it into a shape of something you can hate and something you can fight. Butthole wearing Bumbershoot's outfit. And the creature opens its mouth to scream, but instead what you hear is, "So my name is Bobbert Tingler."
Let me tell you about my dad.
And then you just like slice away the sword. It starts to like remanifest a new weapon, but you can see it's confused as to what's happening to it.
Okay.
You think it's probably cussing you out in its own mind, but all you hear is like, right, so my parents, like I can't remember the name of my dad right now, but like, hang on, I'll get it. I can't remember the name of my dad right now. So meanwhile, back outside, Alan, I'm going to make you concentrate real hard on this because if something happens to you, she might get trapped in there forever.
Oh,
So
fuck.
maybe concentrate and keep passing checks every turn.
All right.
To maintain
I'll
a
try.
psychic battlefield. So Deathwind, suddenly, Quinny, you're quite surprised to see that the ship kind of like trembles and shakes. You see just like a blast of blood off the side of the ship. It seems like it's been injured in some true way. And looking around, you don't see the captain anywhere, but you do see Alan floating kind of like Last Airbender style. Her eyes are white. The book is floating in front of her. She doesn't seem to be aware of what's going on.
Cool.
Fuck yeah.
And
Okay.
she seems to be muttering stuff. And, maybe this is just another Alan day. Who knows? But that's
a new one.
Top level shit.
That's a new one as far as I can tell. I think new priority is going to be steer the ship to keep Alan safe because it looks like she's doing something important.
Sounds about right.
While the whale explodes in the
Yeah.
distance.
I'm kind of putting them together, but not sure how it works.
So meanwhile, back in the mindscape, Deathwind finds itself being shaped and reshaped and just fucking hates that. So it's going to try and strike at you, but it does find that it doesn't have a proper weapon, so it's going to be striking at disadvantage because it's basically, in its head, it has form and shape, but you just bent that. So it misses like a motherfucker. As your good friend Butthole's fond of saying, whales ain't shit. Which brings us back out. Meanwhile, the crew on board the Deathwind is kind of like, what's, sir? And they're like looking around for like any form of captain, but like nothing's...
Well, Quinny yells out, "I'm the captain now."
Can you roll me a persuasion check, please?
So it's a 12.
For the record, I'm only giving you this roll because you used that line. Aboard the Deathwind, you start to see a couple people kind of like look to each other, and then like they're obviously like the people in slave collars are still quiet, which is concerning for reasons. But you start to see some like shifty glances around. There seems to be some like, maybe he is the captain now. We should fight for our freedom. So you can see there's some dissent starting to spread.
Okay.
Because of my love for certain movie quotes. That brings us to fight on the boat.
Cheered for fucking Moonhammer. Hammer's just going for the third swing. Maybe it'll be a poke in the butt. Do you know what I've learned? Sometimes Moonhammer just wants you to do it
Gonna
solo.
throw some stank on that?
Are you going to go old Goblin Jr. as well?
Oh, well, this is just the spiritual one, so I don't think
Oh,
I can
okay.
throw stank on the spiritual one. That's what the goddess wills, so we're going to see what happens there. That's 11. The goddess is unwilling and unhappy for some reason, so I'm like, I'm sorry about the temple. I didn't do it. I'm now blaming myself like I shouldn't have touched that wall. Like I'm having a real problem
Just
with my
shouldn't
time
have touched
there.
that wall.
Now I'm going to take a swing at that fucking guy, but Goblin Jr. is just going to bite him right in the dick again. Like Goblin Jr. just went in, released, took a breath, went back in, like ready. Okay, I'm going to go with the 11.
Go to swing, but you didn't see as the guy behind you was like ready with a knife. And Goblin Jr. sees it just at the right time, so he just chomps down, and the guy kind of like jumps up and you miss, but Goblin Jr. saved you from some strife.
But I'm like deaf, so I'm like, what the Fuck! Apparently this is on you, Stinky Pete.
You hear for the first time an aberration in the chant. You really hurt his feelings.
I mean, why would I hurt his feelings? He's way more capable than me. Also, I can't hear anything.
You thought you were saying this is on you. Like, fuck you, Stinky Pete.
No. I meant like save the day,
up to
man.
you.
Yeah.
I see.
It's up to you, Stinky Pete.
He's got low intelligence. Don't blame him.
I love you, Pete.
The soldiers fire into the guy who's behind you, and they'll deal him 10 points of damage. Okay, guy in front of you is going to take his swings. He just keeps getting bit by that dog. So he'll hit you with one of them for 8 points of damage.
Plenty more where that came
Versus the guy behind you who he's going to take another swing with a tiny hammer. He'll hit with one and deal 6 points.
Slightly less where that came from.
1/10 of your health. The ghost ship is now going to turn its eyes on the Deathwind. It's going to fire 2 from its front. Both miss because Boots is not on that gun. You know?
Gotta get Boots on the gun.
Put Slim Jim on that gun. I think he's available.
Too soon.
From the top of the ship, you Slim Jim? Boots! Why am I a cloud? Some of us don't die as well as others.
Oh no.
He's
just
an
a
entire
pile.
human body that's exploded 1 inch out from itself. Because that was the damage when he
That was the
died.
moment of
He
death.
was such a big guy to begin with. Like,
just a little bit
he's
bigger
just
now.
delightful.
8 feet around of floating meat.
Sea Witch.
Let's get back around to that. I think the side with darkness on it, just to keep us as safe as possible from attack.
Navigation check, please.
Yes,
Alan, can you roll me an intelligence save, please?
17.
Okay, yep. You maneuver back around to the darkness, although you notice that the ship isn't currently firing. There's some havoc going on the deck.
23.
This is both extraordinarily hard, but also like extraordinarily satisfying. Like, it's like when you've gone for like a really long run and you just kind of hit past the wall and you're like, I can do anything.
I have mastered all 4 elements. Basically what's happening.
All right. Meanwhile, back inside the Mind Palace, you want to take your attacks?
Yes.
Roll your d20.
12.
12.
Total.
First one will not hit.
Oh, sorry, that's
14.
not math. 14 total.
Yep, still no good. Roll your second attack.
12 total.
Nope, sadly no good. The Deathwind is becoming stronger inside the psychic void. Now, you still do have a bonus action and a move action. You do have a prehensile tail with a pistol in it, so if you want to try and just shoot him in his dumb head,
Okay.
roll a d20, please, and add 6.
18 total.
Yep, that'll do it.
6 total.
6 total. You take 2 swings, and then enraged, just like your tail gun comes up and just like caps him in the
Comes
shoulder.
up from behind.
And he's like, the fuck? But again, it just comes up to you as like, and then I enlisted in the Greywater Mercenaries. Huzzah! 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 The greatest,
just like,
the greatest fight of your life. Cool. So over to him. Just got shot in the shoulder by a tail gun because that's his life right now. He'll hit with 1, and he will deal you 9 points of damage, which brings us back out of the mindscape to skiff fight.
We're just going to see if Moonhammer is being supportive. That would be 13.
Sadly, that will not do it.
And I just yell, I will earn my favor! And I fart completely. It's like the fart is so disgusting and stanky that it like hits both of them in the eyes like pocket sand. And I take a swing at the guy in front of me. 15 to hit.
15 will hit.
Oh, thank Christ. Like fucking hell. 11 damage.
He's pretty rough.
And I just shake my head at myself, and I say, not everything's easy. Sometimes your goddess loves you. Sometimes she still loves you. She wants you to work a little harder. And I say that to myself. But everyone can hear it because I have no ability to control my voice. So I'm like, sometimes the goddess is supportive.
Can you read lips? Is that a thing that Butthole can do?
I wasn't aware of it, but I'll say no.
Don't you dare say yes.
The pirate captain aloud, and you can't hear it, says, like, you're praying to the wrong god, boy. He'll take 2 swings. 1 will hit.
It always does.
9 points of
armor
damage.
class.
I've been rolling really well with 1 dice. Speaking of rolling well, Cannoneers, Butthole, you're like, crying to the god, and like, you're fighting And this fight has not gone as well as you'd hope. And then suddenly you just feel something wet on the back of your head.
And I'm like, oh no, I pooped again.
On your head?
I pooped up my suit.
And then
Jesus.
you look over your shoulder and holding up a hastily written sign. It says, "Only poo is poo hound shot." And you see the headless corpse of the guy behind you drop to the ground and fall over.
And I give a fucking thumbs up.
They give a thumbs up, and the guy who wrote it's like visibly out of breath because he had like a split second to get that down.
And I look over at Stinky Pete, even though I'm like fending off successfully half of the blows coming from the guy in front of me. And I'm like, when this is done, I'm kissing you on the mouth.
Great. That brings us to Ghost Ship. So the Ghost Ship is now coming up with a full broadside on the Death Wind. Oh, and you know who is on this side? Fucking Boots.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Boots gets the job done.
So the Death Wind takes a mighty blow. It seems to be thoroughly damaged. People on decks are wondering what's going on. It isn't moving anymore. Yeah, shit's getting real. Brings us to the top of the round. Sea Witch.
Keep Alan safe. Keep it in the safe position.
Keep her safe.
That's right. 13.
So the ship starts to drift a bit. We're still holding it close, but you're starting to come around the back again. Alan, can you roll me an intelligence check, please?
I'm going to use my inspiration.
Great.
25 total.
Great. So you managed to maintain your concentration. This is awesome. You're just having a great time. And
Cool.
inside the mindscape, suddenly just like visions of Alan floating there just start like appearing in the sky, kind of watching the duel. She slowly starts to populate the mindscape with her own thoughts. Cool. Back inside. You want to take some more swings at Big Dumb and Ugly?
Yep, let's do it.
Swing Bloodbringer away.
13.
No dice on that one. Go.
God damn it.
Second
I can't
attack.
concentrate forever.
Try your second attack.
12 total.
Sadly, no dice.
The tail is frantically reloading the gun. The tail has the little wadding. It's just pushing it in.
It's like stuck at the crook of your neck. It's going to swing back at you. It will hit with 10 points of damage. However, there is that thing where when you get hit, you get mad. When you get mad, things get set on fire. So, if you'd like to hellishly rebuke it,
I'm going to have faith that on the outside they're doing okay. Considering Alan is just
Just a floating, terrifying
yeah.
monk.
Just
Do it up.
cast hellish rebuke.
what do you say to it?
Your ship fucking sucks. And this is for Slim Jim.
So he has to pass a dexterity save or take a bunch of things. He does not. So that's 3d10 worth of fire damage.
10?
It's starting to look pretty fucked up. Like the image of Butthole is starting to sort of like in that classic shapeshifters who get fucked up way, just like starting to twitch, and it seems to be harder and harder to keep together because you get the sense that you are slowly wearing this thing down. Meanwhile, outside, Queenie, you can see that the water around the Death Wind is starting to get red.
Oh, damn.
It seems like bad shit's going down.
I look at Alan, I look at the red water, I'm like, there's a connection here, I hope.
So that brings us to the skiff fight.
I've realized I have an epiphany while I'm gently getting stabbed. And the guy behind me died, and I'm like, Moonhammer, I understand. We must take him alive. So now the Hammer and I are both determined to bring this fucker down without killing him. So the Hammer's going to go first. The Hammer scores a 19 to hit.
It hits.
Because of course it does. Because Moonhammer fucking gets it. 13 damage.
He's really fucked up. Still standing, but barely.
All right.
Swaying
Now it's
back and forth.
It's my turn. 15.
Yep, that'll hit.
11 damage. But I'm pulling the blow to knock him the hell out.
Yep, he sinks to one knee and just with like a look of just disgust makes eye contact with you, then just passes the fuck out.
I looked at Stinky Pete's crew and I'm like, put out the fire, boys. You're now working with the Dread Captain Butthole. And I immediately tie up this fucking captain's hands so they can't fucking get away.
Yeah, none of this Clark bullshit. Yep, so the Musketeers, remarkably good at putting out fires. They sort of get it
Shoot
under
those
control.
fires.
We're good at lighting things on fire. We're good at putting those fires out. So you now have control of that skiff.
Nice. The other thing I want to do, like a level 1 cure wounds on this guy because I do not want him dying of his
Sure,
injuries.
totally
I want him
fine.
tied up and fantastic. Fuck
Great.
that guy.
Oh, fuck. You just needed boots. Just needed boots on the guns.
And it's all better now?
It's all 4.
Oh, yeah. Boots.
The ghost ship just fucking lights up the side. And like we're just seeing like chunks of the Deathwind getting blown off. The bone mast collapses. You can see more and more of the whale underneath. Its eyes seem to just rolled back into its head. And speaking of, we jump into the mindscape. The creature that you're fighting is like writhing. You can see it's having like, trouble keeping its shape. Take your attacks.
I'm imagining it's like when Aang and Ozai are fighting at the end, and like both of their eyes are glowing, and it's just that battle of wills between. Anyway, that's all.
Spoilers for something, I guess.
The Avatar.
Even though I know.
Honestly, she could just be making up words for me. But it sounds exciting.
So good.
Over to you, my friend.
19 total.
That'll hit. Yep.
And then again. 26 total.
Great.
There we go.
There it is. So both those hit. So please roll me 2d8 and a d6.
18 total.
The creature is like shifting and twisting. You can see the psychic world is like kind of rumbling as the hits against the ship keep happening. And finally your sword lands true. What do you fucking do to the death wind?
It looks at you and it just says, you know how farts like feel great but smell great too?
Oh my god, I fucking cut its head off.
And as you do so, it's like you're kind of expecting the usual, like, you know, spray of blood, everything else. But it's like you strike the head off, and suddenly, like when a video game world just like boots badly, all the world starts falling. And then suddenly you're just like standing on the deck, staring at Alan, who's just floating there. Alan, you drop down to the deck. Your eyes are still all crazy. Mm-hmm. And I think you ask something to the effect of like, how'd it go? But beside you, the ship is like gushing blood. And then all of a sudden you just see it sort of like tilt to the side, go belly up, cease to move, and all the people on board are like leaping off and screaming. And by this point, the collars seem to be like clicking out, so the slaves are kind of like climbing on your ship and like, you know, beating the hell out of the slavers in the ship.
Yeah,
but,
I look at Stinky Pete and the crew, and I'm like, guys, slaves on board, yeah. Corsairs on board? No. And we just hold the edge, yeah.
With a cacophony of gunfire, the rest of the slavers go down. Aboard the Passing Dream, you hear like a bunch of very happy and excited cheers and stuff as the recently fallen sailors find their friends aboard the ship.
And then all the slavers show up and they're like, oh no. Then a giant whale appears on their ship and crushes it. Oh no, new ghost ship. Get the silver cannonballs.
Captain Arthas thanks you for helping ease his conscience, as the one thing he's loved being able to provide homes for the lost souls at sea, but the one thing that's always haunted him has been not being able to put down the reign of the death wind. So now that it's gone, the seas will be safer for all, and people can get back to good old-fashioned pirating rather than horrible psychic whale mind enslavement, which is a pretty good thing for all involved. In the immediate aftermath, the 3 remaining unseen hand skiffs sink after being shot up and blown up and crashed into the thing. However, the one that Butthole you took is now serviceable, essentially now belongs to the party. Captain, you have your crew back for the most part.
Yeah.
But you've also...
R.I.P. Slim Jim.
But he's happy. He's with Boots. Actually worked out better than most nautical deaths. So, yeah, having successfully rid yourselves of the thing that would stalk you to the ends of the earth, you find yourselves free once again to continue on your way, but not before saying a farewell to your new friend, the Sea Witch, Pirate Queen, and hero of pirates everywhere. Say your goodbyes and be on your way, my friends.
Captain Roberts, it has truly been an honor to serve under you.
Thank you, Quinny.
All right. Thank you, Quinny.
We just keep it short like that. Because we've got that understanding anyway. So we're like,
We just nod to each other.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool, right?
That was. I just like look at Alan. I'm like, you're my favorite. It's like that was pretty fucking awesome.
Cool.
I walk up with Goblin Jr. and I say, first, Captain, I think a commendation for Stinky Pete and the assault team are in order. Also, I love you. You're my best friend. And then I throw my hand in her face and just waft a fart there, and I'm like, one for the road.
Oh.
Captain Roberts, you just briefly remember how satisfying cutting the head off imaginary butthole was.
And then I say, I won't always be here to protect you from ghosts. And I give her the last silvered light hammer that I have, which has the symbol of Moonhammer carved into it.
Thank you. That's very generous of you.
You're welcome. One more for the road. I fart my hand and throw it.
Off to the side, sort of unseen by all of you, Goblin Jr. just kind of like looks at Parrot Jr. and then just gives Parrot Jr. like just an affectionate lick on the side, just like snarf and snarf. And with that, you board your ship and you start to leave when suddenly over the side of the boat you hear, "Wait!" And you look up and there's Slutty Dave. And he takes his hat and he holds it aloft. He waves it to you and he blows you a kiss, and Stinky Pete's there. And he takes off his hat, he waves it to you, and he blows a kiss.
And I
then-
say, wait! And I'm like, Alan, I need a favor. And I have Alan Misty step with me over to the boat. And I kiss Slutty Dave on the mouth. And I kiss Stinky Pete on the mouth. And I'm like, I didn't forget. And then we go back to our skiff.
And they, before you go, they clasp hands and they're like, "We'll let you know when we set a date." Because they found love.
It'll be
in a
the
dangerous place.
The first wedding of
many
Moonhammer.
references throughout this arc. Laura, how frustrating is it for you knowing that that's not how that spell works?
Yeah, that's not possible, but that's okay.
Don't care. It worked because love.
Love found a way.
Love found a way.
Love finds a way.
Love conquers all.
You're back on your skiff. What have you decided to name the skiff, by the way?
SS Moonhammer. My win, my boat.
I hate that that's actually
Nautical law, man.
fair
Yeah.
argument.
So you're aboard the SS Moonhammer. You can see the good ship Sea Witch sailing off into the sunset. Quinny, you kind of like look at the calendar, you look at the sky, and you realize if you guys haul ass, you might just make it. Time for the thiefies.
Screw keeping these guys safe. Get me back to the thiefies.
I'm sure the heat's died down.
Yeah.
This episode of Dum-Dums and Dragons features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Laura Hamstra at EL Hamstring on Twitter, our special guest, and our DM Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Dum-Dums and Dragons artwork is by Del Borovic, who can be found at delborovic.com. Our theme songs are And Now for That Massive Coronary and Skipping Through the Orchestra Pit Part 1 by Peter Gresser, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum-Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDUMBDICE. And tune in next week for more Dum-Dums and Dragons.
Epilogue. In a dark tavern, like you would find almost anywhere in the more shady parts, shady towns, around a shady world, a bedraggled former pirate captain is drinking himself silly in a corner, saying, I used to have a boat, and it was just real pretty. We had cushions, and it was great, and then they fucking took it. It takes another drink. And suddenly a very, very large, bald man slides into the booth. And he looks the drunk former captain up and down and says, "You're the one they call Bumbershoot? What's it to you? I hear you know where I can find my brother." Bumbershoot smiles and says, "Oh yeah, I know where he's going."
Second epilogue. I go down into the hold under the skiff. And I move boxes that I'm hiding something in the corner, revealing the tied up ship captain from my parents, both bound and gagged. And I look him square in the eye with the scariest eyes butthole has ever shown the world. And I just say to him, my friends don't need to be a part of this conversation, but you and I are going to have a long talk when we get where we're going. And he starts yelling through the gag, but no one can hear it. And I just shove the boxes back into place, and the hold goes silent, and I go back up to join my friends up top.
And together you sail off into an unknown future. So I hope you enjoyed Dum-Dums and Dragons on the High Seas. I want to throw a particular shout out tonight to the people who made the nautical rules that we used and bastardized for this episode. But the nautical rules we grabbed are from tribality.com, so tribality.com. They've got some incredible homebrew rules, and they've come up with very, very clever nautical rules that are far and beyond what we use today. So if you ever want to have battles at sea in 5th edition, that's where to go. And also special thanks to D&D Wiki, which is dandwiki.com, for the homebrew rules on swashbucklers, which get just absolutely crazy after level 6. So thanks to those guys, and hope you enjoyed the episodes.